Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the exciting developments unfolding in Port Charles, where drama and intrigue continue to captivate viewers with unexpected twists and emotional confrontations. Jocelyn Jax is on the verge of a significant career milestone at the WSB Training Center. After successfully identifying suspicious behavior from Vaughn, she's proven her exceptional observational skills and dedication to the organization. During her conversation with Jack Brennan, Jocelyn confidently asserts the validity of her observations regarding Vaughn's questionable conduct at the cafe, an interaction that raised immediate red flags for the perceptive trainee. What initially appeared to be a strange encounter might actually be an elaborate test designed by WSB officials to evaluate Jocelyn's instincts and commitment to the organization's mission. Brennan's response to Jocelyn's insights could potentially reveal that the entire scenario was orchestrated as part of her final assessment, with the planted clues serving as the ultimate test of her readiness for field operations. With her unwavering dedication and sharp analytical abilities, Jocelyn stands at the threshold of receiving her first official mission, marking the beginning of an exciting new chapter in her professional journey. Meanwhile, tensions between Carly Spencer and Jason Morgan continue to simmer over Carly's relationship with Jack Brennan. Their conversation at Carly's residence becomes increasingly heated as she implores Jason to respect her decision to pursue a relationship with Brennan, emphasizing her conviction that he poses no threat to her well-being. Jason's reluctance to accept this situation stems from genuine concern following Carly's harrowing near-death experience during the recent poisoning incident. His protective instincts, honed through years of safeguarding those he cares about, make it difficult for him to trust Brennan's intentions completely. Despite their disagreement, the deep-rooted friendship between Carly and Jason ultimately prevails, leading them toward establishing a tentative truce. Their ability to navigate this complex emotional terrain speaks volumes about the enduring nature of their bond, which has weathered countless storms throughout the years in Port Charles. The aftermath of Rick Lansing's surgery brings Ava Jerome to his hospital room, where she delivers an impassioned plea for him to regain consciousness. The gravity of the situation weighs heavily on Ava as she contemplates the circumstances surrounding Rick's accident. In a stunning development, Ava is about to receive shocking information that could potentially shift the balance of power in Port Charles. Evidence suggesting Rick's car was deliberately sabotaged raises alarming questions about who might have targeted him. Ava's knowledge that Rick had parked in her designated space leads her to a chilling realization: Christina Corinthos Davis may have been the saboteur, mistakenly targeting Rick's vehicle instead of Ava's. This revelation could provide Ava with significant leverage in the ongoing power struggles that define life in Port Charles, potentially allowing her to outmaneuver her enemies and secure her position in the community's complex social hierarchy. Elizabeth Baldwin's recovery journey takes an emotional turn when Lucky Spencer visits her hospital room. During their heartfelt conversation, Elizabeth confesses that her broken leg will require a more challenging and prolonged recovery process than initially anticipated. Her vulnerability in this moment reveals her fear of becoming a burden to those around her, particularly Lucky, who has always held a special place in her heart. Lucky's unwavering support and reassurance demonstrate the depth of his feelings for Elizabeth, as he promises to stand by her throughout her recovery. Their interaction highlights the enduring connection between these two characters, whose relationship has evolved through numerous trials and tribulations over the years. Elizabeth's current physical vulnerability creates an opportunity for emotional reconnection, potentially reigniting feelings that have remained dormant beneath the surface of their friendship. The ongoing situation involving Kai Taylor continues to create friction between Drew Kane and Curtis Ashford. Trina Robinson expresses reservations after learning about Drew's generous proposal to finance the medical procedure that could potentially resurrect Kai's football career. Her concerns reflect a nuanced understanding of the complex dynamics at play, recognizing that while Drew's offer appears benevolent on the surface, it carries implications that extend beyond simple charity. Trina's wisdom beyond her years becomes evident as she acknowledges that ultimately, this life-altering decision must rest with Kai himself. Curtis has already emphasized this point, highlighting the importance of allowing Kai to maintain agency over his own future despite his current vulnerable position. The planned conversation between Trina and Kai faces an unexpected interruption, leaving viewers wondering whether Drew will attempt to expedite Kai's decision or if another character will intervene in this delicate situation. Friday's episode promises an explosive confrontation between Curtis and Drew as their simmering tensions reach a boiling point. Drew levels a serious accusation at Curtis, suggesting that personal animosity is clouding his judgment regarding Kai's potential opportunity. Curtis, unwavering in his protective stance toward Kai, counters with accusations of his own, portraying Drew as an opportunist exploiting Kai's vulnerable circumstances for personal gain. Drew attempts to separate their long-standing hostility from the current situation involving Kai, but Curtis remains steadfast in his role as Kai's defender. This heated exchange reveals the complex layers of their relationship, where past grievances continue to influence present interactions, creating a web of mistrust that threatens to entangle innocent bystanders like Kai. The episode culminates with Drew Kane making a fierce accusation while Elizabeth Baldwin confesses to Lucky Spencer. Additionally, a surprising twist involving Vaughn is poised to be revealed, promising viewers another captivating installment of the beloved ABC soap opera. Trina Robinson's reservations about Drew's proposal to fund Kai Taylor's career-saving medical procedure highlight her thoughtful nature and concern for Kai's autonomy in making such a significant decision. As Curtis Ashford and Drew Kane's confrontation intensifies, the repercussions of their clash could have far-reaching implications for all involved, especially Kai, who stands at the center of their dispute. With Ava Jerome potentially discovering explosive information about Rick Lansing's accident, Elizabeth and Lucky reconnecting during her recovery, and Jocelyn Jacks preparing for her first WSB mission, Port Charles continues to be a hotbed of drama, intrigue, and emotional revelations that keep viewers eagerly anticipating each new development. Next, we will learn about the issue surrounding Lucky Spencer and Elizabeth Baldwin's complicated relationship, with a shocking twist involving Christina Corinthos Davis that could change everything. The complicated web of loyalty and love. Lucky Spencer finds himself at a crossroads where his rekindled feelings for Elizabeth Baldwin clash with his loyalty to the Corinthos family. The question haunting him is whether Elizabeth could ever forgive him once she discovers he's been protecting the person responsible for her injuries. His silence about Christina's involvement might ultimately destroy any chance of rebuilding what they once had. The golden silence Lucky maintains might be the very thing that shatters their newly rekindled connection. Fans are divided on this situation. While many appreciate Lucky's unwavering bedside devotion that evokes nostalgia, others question how Elizabeth could possibly trust someone who conceals such a devastating truth. If Lucky continues prioritizing his allegiance to Sonny and Christina over complete honesty with Elizabeth, this deception could become the fatal flaw in their potential reunion. The devastating consequences of silence. Lucky's decision to withhold information places him in an impossible position. Each moment he spends whispering promises of second chances to Elizabeth, his unspoken knowledge about Christina's actions contradicts his professed love. This internal conflict manifests as he tenderly holds Elizabeth's hand while simultaneously carrying the burden of a truth that could devastate her all over again if revealed. The complexity deepens when considering Molly Lansing Davis's position in this tangled web. As Christina's sister and someone who would be crushed to learn the truth about her siblings' actions, Molly represents another reason Lucky hesitates to come forward. His protective instinct extends beyond just Christina to the entire family structure that would collapse like dominoes if the truth emerged. The crash that changed everything. The catastrophic event that catalyzed this emotional maelstrom began with Christina Corinthos Davis's reckless act of vengeance. In a blind rage directed at Ava Jerome, Christina sabotaged what she believed was Ava's vehicle by cutting the brake lines, a dangerous action reflecting the notorious Corinthos temper. The tragic irony unfolded when Rick Lansing and Elizabeth became the unintended victims of this sabotage, resulting in a horrific crash that left Rick fighting for his life in intensive care and Elizabeth injured but conscious. This accident created the perfect storm of circumstances that brought Lucky rushing to Elizabeth's bedside, finally breaking through his emotional barriers to express his long-suppressed feelings. The near-death experience became the catalyst for Lucky to overcome the fear that had previously prevented him from revealing his true emotions to Elizabeth. The Corinthos connection. Christina's impulsive action has spiraled into what insiders describe as full rogue behavior, creating explosive repercussions throughout Port Charles. The Corinthos name carries weight and consequences, and Lucky understands all too well that crossing sunny Corinthos without a contingency plan would be foolish. His time back in town has taught him the unwritten rules of survival in this complex social ecosystem. The protection Lucky offers Christina stems from more than mere self-preservation. There's a familial bond that complicates his moral compass. Christina isn't just Sunny's daughter, she represents an extended family connection that Lucky values, despite her dangerous impulsivity. A love story interrupted. Elizabeth and Lucky's relationship has always followed a circular pattern, continuously finding their way back to each other despite numerous obstacles. This latest chapter in their tumultuous love story finds Lucky pouring his heart out like they've traveled back to 1998, reminiscent of their youthful romance that captivated viewers decades ago. The emotional whirlwind Lucky experiences encompasses not only his rekindled feelings for Elizabeth but also the moral dilemma of concealing crucial information from her. The lie standing between them grows more significant with each passing moment, threatening to undermine any foundation they might rebuild together. The path forward. The question that remains is whether Lucky and Elizabeth can possibly recouple and achieve their long-awaited happily ever after with this deception between them. Lucky hasn't had adequate time to process how he'll manage this ethical quandary, caught between protecting someone he considers family and being honest with the woman he loves. Elizabeth, meanwhile, remains unaware that she sits at the center of a storm she never saw coming. Her recovery from physical injuries might prove simpler than healing from the betrayal of trust that awaits her if Lucky's silence is eventually broken by someone else, as secrets in Port Charles inevitably are. The inevitable truth. Port Charles has never been kind to those who harbor secrets, and this situation appears destined for an explosive revelation. When Elizabeth inevitably discovers the truth about Christina's involvement and Lucky's decision to conceal it, will she understand his complicated position or view it as an unforgivable breach of trust? The magnetic pull between Lucky and Elizabeth has survived numerous challenges throughout their history, but this test might prove their most difficult yet. Their potential reconciliation hangs in the balance, dependent on whether Lucky's protective instinct toward the Corinthos family will ultimately cost him the love he's fought so hard to reclaim. As this drama unfolds, viewers remain captivated by the emotional complexity and moral ambiguity that has always made General Hospital a compelling staple of daytime television. The intertwined fates of Lucky, Elizabeth, Christina, and the extended Port Charles community continue to evolve in unexpected ways, reminding us why we've remained invested in these characters' journeys for decades. Next, we will learn about the intriguing possibility of a strategic union between two Port Charles residents that could change everything in the custody landscape. The complex web of relationships in Port Charles might soon witness an unexpected development as Jason Morgan and Sasha Gilmore Corbin potentially consider matrimony as their ultimate strategy. This bold move would serve to solidify their elaborate paternity deception, designed to shield Michael Corinthos from potentially devastating custody consequences. The possibility of Jason and Sasha falling genuinely in love while maintaining their charade adds a fascinating layer to this unfolding drama. Their continued entanglement suggests that viewers should remain vigilant for any wedding announcements that might emerge in the coming weeks. The chemistry between these characters, initially brought together by circumstance, could evolve into something neither anticipated when they began this deception. Should Willow begin assembling the puzzle pieces regarding the conception timeline, she might start questioning whether Jason is merely posing as Sasha's baby's father. This potential revelation could prompt Jason and Sasha to elevate their deception to new heights. A wedding ceremony between them would present a convincing image of family unity, potentially derailing any suspicions Willow might harbor about the child's true paternity. The current situation appears particularly precarious for Willow, whose relationship with Drew Kane has created problematic optics. Moving Michael's children into Drew's home while Michael recovers in a burn unit places her in a vulnerable position should custody disputes arise. This circumstance might compel her to intensify her search for leverage against Michael, potentially leading her to discover the truth about his indiscretion with Sasha. Sasha's profound concern centers on Michael potentially losing both Wiley and Amelia Corinthos if Willow discovers his infidelity during their marriage. Given that Michael's liaison with Sasha resulted in her pregnancy, Willow could weaponize this information in court proceedings. Determined to prevent such an outcome, Sasha appears fully committed to maintaining Jason's paternity claim, regardless of the personal sacrifices required. The paternity deception has already reached significant proportions, with Jason agreeing to have his name recorded on both the birth certificate and medical documentation. Despite acknowledging this constitutes fraud, Jason dismissively remarked that he's committed worse offenses, a statement longtime General Hospital viewers know to be accurate. His unwavering loyalty to Michael manifests in his willingness to claim paternity of Sasha's child, demonstrating the extraordinary lengths he'll go to protect Michael's interests. Jason has offered Sasha reassurance through positive predictions about their arrangement, emphasizing his commitment to seeing this through completely. This dedication raises questions about how far Jason might be willing to extend this charade. Marriage represents a logical, if extreme, progression in their efforts to maintain the illusion of Jason's paternity and protect Michael from potential custody complications. Deeper analysis of character motivations. Jason's unwavering loyalty. Jason Morgan's character has always been defined by his fierce loyalty to the Corinthos family. His willingness to claim another man's child speaks volumes about the depth of his commitment to Michael, whom he has watched grow from infancy. This paternity deception represents yet another sacrifice in a long history of putting the Corinthos family's needs above his own personal interests. The psychological implications for Jason are profound. Having lost so much time with his own son Jake during his absence from Port Charles, Jason now finds himself in the peculiar position of claiming paternity of a child that isn't his. This situation creates an interesting parallel to his own complicated history with fatherhood and could potentially trigger unresolved emotions about his relationship with Jake. Sasha's protective instincts. Sasha's motivation stems from a complex mixture of guilt, loyalty, and perhaps lingering feelings for Michael. Her previous deception, pretending to be Nina Reeves' daughter, established a pattern of willingness to participate in elaborate lies. However, this current deception differs significantly as it directly impacts an innocent child's life and future. The psychological burden of maintaining such a significant lie while preparing to become a mother creates tremendous stress for Sasha. Her recovery from substance abuse issues makes her particularly vulnerable, raising questions about whether this high-pressure situation might threaten her hard-won sobriety. Michael's precarious position. Michael Corinthos finds himself in an extraordinarily vulnerable position. Recovering from severe burns while simultaneously facing the potential loss of his children to his estranged wife and former best friend creates a perfect storm of emotional trauma. His affair with Sasha likely occurred during a moment of extreme emotional vulnerability after discovering Willow's betrayal with Drew. The irony of Michael's situation cannot be overlooked. Having fought so hard to gain custody of Wiley from Nellie Benson, he now faces the possibility of losing both his children due to his own indiscretion. This parallel creates a fascinating character study in how quickly fortunes can reverse in Port Charles. Willow's evolving character. Willow's transformation from the sweet, principled schoolteacher to someone potentially willing to use Michael's infidelity as leverage in a custody battle represents a significant character evolution. Her relationship with Drew has changed her priorities and perspective, perhaps bringing out a more calculating side that viewers haven't previously witnessed. The moral complexity of Willow's position is particularly interesting. While she initiated the breakdown of her marriage through her affair with Drew, she maintains the moral high ground in terms of providing stability for the children. This creates a fascinating ethical dilemma that enriches the storytelling. Potential plot developments. The wedding scenario. Should Jason and Sasha proceed with marriage, the ceremony itself would likely be small and private, focused on creating legal documentation rather than celebrating a genuine union. However, the public perception of their marriage would create ripple effects throughout Port Charles, affecting numerous relationships.